Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. And I wanted to talk about today. I'm coming to you from Starbucks, by the way, in case you don't know. I got up real early today and went and took some photos. Dropped my kids off at school. Went and took some photos. I did want to go home, so I went to KFC, which opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. Got myself a water. Where's my water? I think I left it somewhere. Got a water, waiting for Starbucks to open at 8:30. Came down here, so I was thinking about something. I got a comment the other day from a guy, and it has to do with the living in Thailand on a $500 a month budget. That particular video that I did a while back, did it in January of 2013. So it's been a couple of years, and prices have changed, things have changed. And before, listen, $500 a month is doable, but it's existing as opposed to really living. And that's what I've been saying for a long time. So I got a guy who wrote me. Let me see if I can find it here. He just wrote me yesterday, and he said that he pays. He lives in the country, in the countryside, and he pays $500 a month. Not $500 a month, $3,000 a month. Sorry, to take care of his family, and he owns his own house and he has a car. He spends $3,000 a month, and he said pretty much the exact same thing that I said, which is he doesn't want to basically have a subsistence lifestyle. He doesn't want to just exist. He wants to truly live. He wants to be able to be free to go places when he wants and to be able to do things and not be constricted by a lack of funds, which is, listen, you don't always need to have more money, but it sure helps sometimes if you need to do something or you want to do something. So I just did a quick calculation. If you're just living here and you just want just the very basics, all right, you're just a single guy, you don't have a girl that you're taking care of or that you're taking out and dating and spending money on all the time, let me just give you an example of what you can do here. You can get an apartment here, like a studio apartment, or a place out in the country like in Udon or Khon Kaen or somewhere that's inexpensive like that. You can get an apartment. You can pretty much find an apartment for about 4,000 baht. Okay, not a great place, not huge, not big, but 4,000 baht. Food is about, I figured 150 baht. That's 50 baht a meal for 3 meals a day. That's not very much, honestly. So you figure that that's going to be, that adds up to 8,000 baht so far. That's 150 baht a day. That's street food all the time, pretty much all the time. You might be able to finagle it a little bit and work it out to where you get to buy a meal once in a while. But let's say that the electricity and water total 1,000 baht, and the internet is 500 baht. You've got internet. Transportation, 1,000 baht. And you have 3,000 baht in spending money. That's 14,000 baht. That's $400. Now, that doesn't take into consideration having savings. It doesn't take into consideration medical insurance or dental care or clothing. It doesn't take into consideration dating. It doesn't take into consideration traveling around when you feel like traveling. It doesn't take into consideration buying things like a television or products like that. It doesn't take into consideration if you're being married. This is a single person, not taking care of 2 people, or if they have kids. And if you're not here on a retirement visa, then you're going to have to pay to go out of the country. And nowadays, that means flying out of the country. And to fly out of the country, listen, it's going to cost you, just for like 1 or 2 nights, it's going to cost you between 10 and 15,000 baht. Now, assuming you're on a tourist visa, and you divide that by 3 months, because a tourist visa is good for 60 days plus a 1-month extension, that works out to an extra about 3,400 to 5,000 baht per month, and that's not even including the visa extension, which is I think it's 1,900 baht to extend the visa. So let's just say an extra 5,000 baht a month. So it was 14,000 baht. That means you're going to be at 19,000 baht now. Take away the savings, you'll be at 16,000. So you're still within the $500 a month, but you're not really living, in my opinion. And this is the big thing. You know, for me, if I was a single guy, the bare minimum as a single person that I would want is $1,000 a month. And that's the bare minimum. Personally, I mean, you know, I've lived here on $1,000 a month, and I've lived here on $5,000 a month. And I'll take the $5,000 any day of the week. You know, and the other thing is that if you have a tourist visa, you may not be allowed into the country continuously. You have a retirement visa, guess what? You don't have to worry about it. Once a year, you get the extension, and that's it. You could get an elite visa. There's all kinds of things you could do. Buy a condo to be able to stay here. But nowadays, they've cracked down, and it's not as easy to stay here. Just the other day, I had a buddy who he called me up. He said, "Oh, do you know about this new visa rule?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" Oh, it turns out that that they made this, they implemented this a month or so ago, a little bit more than that. And basically, what it is, it's just a multiple entry visa. And I'm going to read it to you, the specifics of it. It's a TR multiple, which is an METV. Replace the tourist visa issued for 2 and 3 entries, which will no longer be available 13 November 2015. So here's the deal. You need everything that you had before. You're supposed to have flight confirmation, hotel confirmation, passport photos, visa application, passport, blah, blah, blah. But you also need a minimum balance for the previous 6 months of $7,000 a month every single month. Okay, and it says the name of the applicant must clearly appear on it. Employment verification. For students, full-time student status proof. For self-employed, business license or business registration. For minors, that's under 20. A copy of birth certificate, copies of mother's and father's passport ID, and copy of marriage certificate, if any. Also, a letter of consent from the mother and the father for the minor to travel abroad in case not accompanying with the child. It has to be notarized. Now, the fee for this is $200. So this is causing quite a few people headaches. But the reason that the Thai government is doing this, I think, is because they're sick and tired of people manipulating the tourist visa to where they've decided that they're just going to go in and out of the country. And I understand why people do this, but they go in and out of the country for months or years at a time, and they use the tourist visa to be able to do that. It used to be they get a 1-year tourist visa. They would be good for a total of 15 months. So that means they were good for 15 months. You just had to go out of the country every 3 months. Then it was they stopped giving the 1 year. It would be 9 months, which would give you a year, and then they cut it back to 2, and then it used to be, well, you could only go to this place to get this many entries, and this place to get this many entries. So they really cracked down, and now you can get one tourist visa, and it's getting more difficult for people to get the multiple entry, and they've made it a lot more difficult. So there's a lot of people who are worried. They've made it more difficult to get the education visa, and this is the thing. If you really want to live in a country, I kind of understand it. They want to make sure you got the money. A lot of people, you hear about all these people, these tourists come over, tourists, expats. I know one expat in particular that he was totally screwed because he had a heart attack, and when I heard about it, I said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go see him," I went and saw the guy. He was in the hospital. I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he just had a mild heart attack and he was recovered. But the truth was he was in really bad shape. And he was out of it. He didn't even know that I was there. He didn't know that he was out. So a couple of weeks later, he gets out, and I see the guy, and he says, "Oh yeah, the only reason they let me out is because I gave him my passport. I have to pay them 800,000 baht for this, for what they did, for everything that they did for me." He didn't have the money. He had to wait until he transferred from abroad. Well, he didn't have insurance, so he had no way of saying, "Listen, my insurance will cover it. Here's the deal." They approve it. They say they guarantee it, and they say it's okay. So people come into the country, they don't have insurance, and it creates a drain on the Thai economy. And the Thai economy, while it's growing and it's better, it ain't great. I mean, let's face it. The majority of economies around the world are not exactly stellar. They're like the average person's bank account, which maybe one day you got $5,000 in it, the next you got $43 or something. I mean, governments are not. They're not known for managing their money any better than the average civilian. So, but anyway, these are things to consider. You come over here, you got no medical insurance, you got no dental, you got no, maybe you need, you're going to stay here, and you manage to stay here for 2 years. You haven't bought any clothes. Listen, I mean, I don't buy a lot of clothes, but when I do, I usually spend a lot. I mean, I buy a lot. I mean, I'll go out and blow $1,000 on shorts and a t-shirt and socks and underwear and stuff like that, but I only do that maybe once every 2 years, and this stuff's got to last. And once in a while I'll buy a t-shirt or I'll buy a nice dress shirt or something like that, but I have a full closet of clothes that I never wear. I mean, like long sleeve shirts, nice shirts, dress shirts from tailors, stuff like that, but I had the money to buy that stuff. So now if I ever need it, I have it. It's not a problem. I can wear it anytime I want. It's still in fashion. It's not like this stuff's I can't wear it, I can't use it. So there's a lot of things to think about. And most guys, when they come over here, they just think, I'm going to live off of nothing. I'm going to live off of fumes. And if you're young and you have a way, you got your parents to fall back on, and you don't mind coming over here for say 6 months or as long as your money lasts, then that's fine. But if you're actually going to live here, you say, I'm 25, I'm sick of the United States, I'm going to move over to Thailand. You got like $800 a month coming in. And actually, I just talked to somebody, and he knows who he is. He watches my videos religiously. He's only got like 800 something bucks a month. And he and his girl were fighting. And, it was generally because of stress, probably caused because of lack of funds. And even if you're honest with a woman, it wears on a person if you have no money. It's hard to live if you don't have much money. So you're always going, can we buy this? I go to the grocery store sometimes, and I mean, like I spend 3,000 baht, 5,000 baht. That's like $100, $150. And I know that even though I just spent that money, probably in the next week, I'm going to have to go back and get milk and bread, maybe some cheese or some potatoes or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to have to spend a little bit more. And then I'm going to have to go back in a couple of weeks and spend the same amount and buy even more. So we spend quite a bit on food. And it's not because of me necessarily. It's because I got 2 growing boys. And my wife, she likes to go and buy stuff from down the street or whatever. And then, some of the stuff at home we don't use. Sometimes the food goes bad or whatever. And I hate that. But, there's a lot of things to consider. It's not just a matter of, hey, I'm going to come over there. I got $3,000 to last me for 6 months. I mean, it's possible if you got a free place to live, if you got a support system here, like, your wife's family is here and you've been married for 10 years and, you don't have much money, but she really wanted to come and spend the next, spend the summer or something like that. She wanted to spend 4 months here, let's say, and you've got $2,000. Well, yeah, it's possible. Of course it is. But it's still tight. Because no matter how you look at it, a dollar is still a dollar. And there are things in the world that they cost the same, or at least as much, everywhere you go. You know, a stereo. You're gonna go buy a stereo. You're gonna listen. You're gonna go buy a camera. Got a camera. Got Fuji. Got my Fuji with me. You're gonna go buy a camera. This thing's gonna cost you, $1,500. Plus, you buy another lens. Well, that's like $700. You buy flash. That's another $250. And you can say that it's in baht, but it still works out to be about the same. You want an airline ticket? You want to fly home? Like for me, we want to fly home. Guess what? It's gonna cost us 110,000 baht, 120,000 baht for 4 people. So, you're talking about 30. What is that? 30. It's about $3,000 if we're lucky. That's about 105,000. So it all adds up. If you don't have them dollars, if you don't have that equivalent of what you need in baht, and when you're living off of $500 a month, you got your return ticket. Once that return ticket's done, if you never use it, guess what? You still got to buy another ticket. So you better be saving money. You better have a little bit extra money. And when you have $500 a month, it's not very much. And I think that there are a vast number of people living off of next to nothing here because they think they can get away with it, and they do get away with it for years, and they have. But the cost of living is going up here. The Thai government has made it a little more tricky to be able to stay here long term for some people, especially people under retirement age. And there's a lot of things to consider. I mean, really, you always think that maybe, I'm healthy, I'm as fit as an ox. Well, I used to be too. And you start getting older and you start having things break down. So if you're going to be here long term and you're young, you better think about that, because now, if I had it my way, I would have stashed 50 or 100 grand instead of just 10 grand. I would have got 100 grand up. I would have worked an extra 2 years. I would have socked away 100 grand. And I would have done it that way. And then I would have had that big buffer to sit on. And I wouldn't have had to worry as much. And now I've had to scrimp and save. And me and my family, we're able to do some things that hey, you can't come to Starbucks every other day or every day. You can't come with your kids and buy them a little piece of cake or whatever once a week. If you got $500 a month, it's just not possible. I mean, I spend probably $100, $150 a month at Starbucks. I used to spend $500 a month to get back and forth to work when I was working. $500 a month. So, that's $500 a month. If you're trying to live off $500 a month, well, guess what? Doesn't leave you much now, does it? So, anyway, I've rambled on enough. That's all I got. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. And buy my book. Take a look at my website. Check it out. And what else? Yeah. I'm just chilling. That's my new phrase here. Nicholas, whenever I ask him what he's doing, chilling. I'm just chilling. He got that from me a long time ago. Now he's incorporated it. And the other one is when he's going to go to use the toilet. Little private information here, but he doesn't say, I got to go number 2, I got to take a dump. He doesn't. Although we did teach a kid in the South to say, one of his little buddies to say, hey, I got to take a dump. He says, I got to drop a deuce. I don't know where he got that from. It wasn't me. I think it was some movie or something. Where are you going, Nicholas? I'm going to drop a deuce. Man. So, anyway, that's all I got. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choking that jerking.